Can the federal government force you to buy something whether you want it or not? That is the question before a historic session of the Supreme Court. It's all about the president's health care law. The law is designed to give all Americans access to medical care, but by 2014 it requires everyone to have insurance or pay a fine. Demonstrators for and against have been gathering at the court. There was a line for seats inside. A CBS News New York Times poll out tonight on views of the health care law finds that more Americans disapprove overall than approve, 47% to 36%. At the same time, many Americans approve elements of the law. For example, 85% like the part that requires insurance companies to cover pre-existing conditions, and 68% like allowing children under 26 to stay on their parents' health plan. But to pay for all of that, virtually everyone has to buy mandatory health insurance or pay a penalty, and more than half disapprove of the so-called mandate. The law is being challenged now by 26 states. Jan Crawford was in the courtroom today for the first of 3 days of arguments. Jan?
Well, Scott, these are issues the court has never before considered, and that's why some are saying this could be the most important set of rulings since the justices took up FDR's New Deal legislation 70 years ago. But those arguments will be held tomorrow. Today, they got things started with a threshold question. Can the court even decide this case right now? Over 3 days, the court will confront fundamental questions about congressional power in American life. Tuesday is the main argument. That's when the justices will take up the so-called individual mandate, the law's controversial requirement that Americans have to buy health insurance or pay a penalty. Chief Justice John Roberts today put it bluntly.
It's a command. A mandate is a command.
Under the Constitution's Commerce Clause, Congress has the power to regulate commerce. But opponents say that doesn't mean it can create commerce by forcing people to buy things they don't want. Otherwise, the government could force people to buy fuel-efficient cars or health food.
Part sounds great.
The Obama administration says it isn't creating commerce, but regulating the existing healthcare market, since uninsured people often use health services they can't pay for, which makes healthcare more expensive for everyone. But today, the justices focused on a basic legal question. Is it too soon for the court to decide the case? The issue is complex, but the justices were engaged and firing questions.
How likely is it? I mean, the government is going to be defending these suits.
At issue in today's arguments is whether the penalty people will have to pay for refusing to buy insurance amounts to a tax. If so, the argument goes, the court won't have legal jurisdiction to hear the case until someone actually pays it, which won't be until 2015. Now, on this narrow issue, the administration and the states who are opposing the law are on the same side. They want the court to decide this issue now. They're going to go head-to-head tomorrow, though, on that big constitutional question of the individual mandate. And, Scott, if the justices are listening to public opinion, they're going to throw this law out. In our new poll, more than 2/3 of American people said that they want the court to either strike down part of the law, the individual mandate, or get rid of all of it.
Of course, the justices always say they never listen to public opinion. But Jan, I'm curious, after the 3 days of argument, how long will it take the justices to reach a decision?
Well, Scott, as you can imagine, this is one of the most controversial cases the justices have ever tackled, at least since I've been covering the court. And so that means it's going to go right till the end of the term at the end of June, because there's certain to be multiple opinions, dissents, disagreements, and that just takes longer for them to write. So we'll get that opinion before July, but right in the middle of that presidential election.
Jan, thanks very much.